Hello and welcome along to a series of little problems. I'm Brian Costello, and in this series I am going to explain to you how problems actually work and what they are. Some of the most common things that we deal with here at HeadStrong as coaches, therapists, whatever the hell you want to call us. These are the things that we deal with. Today's one that we're going to look at is one of the biggest. It's stress. You see, one of the interesting things about stress is that I find in the modern world is that now it seems actually that the norm is to be stressed. Imagine someone walks up to you in work tomorrow, you say, "How are you doing?" And they go, "Actually, I'm pretty relaxed. Everything's fine. My workload's all under control. I've got a couple of meetings later on this afternoon, but generally everything's okay." Come on, be honest. You would be thinking to yourself, there's something wrong with that person. Why aren't they working hard? And why is that? Because we've set it now as a norm to be stressed every moment of every day, especially in our working lives. But what actually is it? Well, stress is just a fancy modern word really for fear. If you're stressed, you're living in fear. Can I say the fact that it's becoming a norm is one of the worst things that this planet is possibly doing to us, and our current want to work and to push all the time is that we are living in fear. It is fight or flight. If you want a nice easy way to remember it, anxiety, which is also one of our series of little problems, and in here somewhere in the video library, anxiety is about flight. It's about running away from things. Your mind is going protection, protection, run, run, run. When you're stressed, your mind is doing the opposite. It's going, no, we shall keep going. And it wants to fight. It wants to push. It wants to try and keep on pushing through whatever it is. And that leads to one inevitable conclusion, which is that at some point your mind can't handle everything that you're pushing through. And therefore you end up in this place that we call overwhelm. A place where all of a sudden your mind has so much stuff inside it that you can't actually cope. Stress-related illness is one of the biggest things that the NHS in the UK has to deal with, and the reason is because people are too busy fighting and not busy enough actually dealing with what they need to do. So the big question, of course, can I beat it? Can I go over it? Or is it just part of the modern workplace? Well, yes, of course you can. Of course you can beat it. It's not actually natural to live life in stress at all. This is not somewhere where we should be. And there's a couple of very simple things that we can do. If you came to see us, one of the first things that we do is to find out actually what's going on. And that can take people by surprise. See this that's appearing on the screen right next to me just now? Well, this is the example of one person's workload. That's one person, not a whole organisation, one person's workload, and they were wondering why they were stressed. Just look at it. There is so much stuff in there, and if you could see the detail, I've deliberately made sure that you can't see the detail, but if you could see the detail on there, you would realise that there was such small, tiny little things that this person was trying to manage that it was just impossible for one person to do. The tip to this person was to delegate, to start finding people that could help them with what they were looking to do, and this is normally one of the problems of stress. People don't ask for help. We get into this thing that we should be able to do it all ourselves, and therefore we push and we push and we push until we break. And quite often stress leads to anxiety because, as I said earlier on, what happens is after pushing long enough, the mind will eventually turn around and go, I'm not pushing anymore, and we'll start wanting to run and go into protection mode. And as soon as that happens, that's you now having anxiety attacks and panic attacks. If you are stressed to the level of not being able to sleep, of maybe losing your appetite, of losing weight, or potentially of gaining weight and eating for comfort, you need to get in touch with someone very, very quickly, whether it's somebody in your work, whether it be your manager, because this is one of my biggest tips for beating this, is to be honest, and that's what we help you be, because we tend to be external. So you tell us that you don't think you're good enough, or that you think you're going to get found out, or that you've got too much on. So what we want you to do is to be honest, but you don't have to do that with us. You can do that with anybody. What about some quick wins apart from that? Let's see if we can help you right now. Okay, so 3 quick wins. Number 1, what I want you to do is, if you were to do a mind map, just like the one I showed you earlier on, sorry, I couldn't remember what side it was that side, wasn't it? If you were to just do a mind map, it's one of the easiest ways. So I literally sit with a piece of paper, or if you've got a computer, you can get online mind mapping software for nothing, for free. I want you to sit down with it and start putting down everything that you have on at the moment. I think you'll be surprised. Number 2 is, like I said earlier on, find someone to talk to. You need to offload it. In here, it's not doing you any favours. It needs to be out here. You need to speak it and get some help. And the last one is to chunk. And what I mean by chunking is to put it into bits, to do one step at a time. If you can do it one step at a time, what happens is it becomes easier and easier to deal with. Just small chunks. Realise that you don't have to do the whole thing at once. You ever heard the old therapist joke? How do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. But what most people imagine is trying to shove this elephant in their mouth, but of course it won't fit. But actually, when you think about it, it's logical to do that. Stop eating elephants one step at a time. If you want some help, want some advice, get in touch with us. The details are just coming up just in a little second. I hope you're enjoying a series of little problems, and we'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.